Hello everyone, this is Jasmina, and in this video I'm going to talk about how the Sha Chi mitigation works because there seem to be some questions about it. Now, this method uses the month and day flying stars. And of course, these are numbers, and each number has its elements. And together, you're looking for a reinforcement of the same type of energy from both the month and the day, or the same type of elemental energy. Now, there are three elements that are used for mitigation. Metal is used for the stars 2 or the 5. Now, in period 9, a star 2 in your natal flying star chart of your house, it becomes quite positive. But the annual star still stays negative, so you have to worry about the annual star 2. But that's still a couple months away when you could stop worrying about it. The fire is mitigated, the star 3. Now the star 3 tends to lead to arguments. The 2 and the 5, well, the 2 is usually called the illness star, and the 5 is the misfortune star. They're both quite negative. The star 7 is sometimes associated with robbery. It's associated with losing things. So if this is a problem, then you want to mitigate your star 7. And of course, these should be in important rooms of your house. In a bathroom, usually they're not bad unless people keep breaking in through the bathroom window or something like that. It's usually not bad. But it's water that will mitigate the 7. And now this is all elemental. This is the weakening form of weakening these stars in the 5-element weakening ring. Now, metal is represented either by star 6, that is both the day and the month in one single sector would be 6, or the Hertu combo of 4 and 9, where one is from the month and the other is from the day, and it doesn't matter which one, could be either. Fire is represented either by double star 9 or a combo of 2 and 7, which is the Hertu combo for fire. And this, of course, is the Hertu combo for metal. And water is represented either by 2 stars of 1 or the combo of 1 and 6. And this is, of course, the Hertu combo for water. Now, the date that can be used for mitigation happens to have in a single sector that the month star, let's take it for the 2 and the 5, either both the month star and the day star in that sector that you're trying to mitigate is 6, or one is 6, one is 4 and the other is 9, and it doesn't matter which way. This will become clearer because I'm going to show you some examples. Now it's very easy to know what the month star is going to be. This next month, the next year, that is February to March of 2025, this will go down by 1, so it'll start with a 2, and it will end with a 9, and then start with an 8. So it's a 3-year cycle. And I do have a video with the annual and month stars, their pattern, and it's pretty easy. But the day stars are quite a bit more complicated, but they're not impossible to understand, and I do have a video about this. And if you know how to use Excel, you can do this yourself. Now, the numbers given in these charts, including in the day charts that I talk about in this video, this is the center, the number in the center of the chart. And they always fly in the positive low shoe pattern, so it's very easy to know where the stars are going to be located. So these are the 9 possible ways you can arrange all of these stars, or all of these charts. Every year, month, day, and hour chart, it's going to be one of these for that particular star. Now, there'll be a big mix if you've got 4 stars in a box because you're looking at the hour chart. Well, you'll have 4 different stars, and it will depend on everything. Now, the hour is actually pretty easy, but the day is the complicated one. Now, I'm just going to focus. Let's start with the metal cure. Let's just look at 6. Now you can see that 6 bounces around the chart. And indeed, you could even use this in the center, although I don't usually list it because it's fairly rare to have Sha Chi in the center of your house. Most of the time it will be internal, and that's much easier to fix. Just take that sharp corner and put something round in front of it, basically. That will fix it. Even one of those kid bumpers, you know, the corner bumpers for protecting small children, that works good enough. So we start here, and you can see that every star, you know, moves around this whole chart. This is just the way it works. Now, I'm going to focus on the east just because I picked a sector to focus on. And so this means that we have, during this month, February, the beginning of this Chinese solar year, and also near the end of this Chinese solar year, we have the center star being 8. So we have 6 in the east. So these 2 months, if we have the day star also have 8, it will also have a 6 in the day. So that will be a double 6, and that will be a date that you can use. Now let's look at the more complicated one, where we have the 9 and the 4. Again, that's the Her2 combo for metal. And we just want to look at the east, so we have some possible dates. Now if we look here, we can see that the month star of 2 will give us in the east the number 9, and the month star of 6 will give us the month star in the east of 4. So these are the months that we have to look at in more detail. So any day during these 2 months, April through May and January to right before we enter period 9, any day that has a star 2 in the center will have a star 9, and you will have this star 4, and you will have a date that you can mitigate. Now, if you've looked at those dates that I list monthly, they are 9 days apart, with the only possible exception happening right around both summer solstice and winter solstice, because that's when you get some changes in the day numbers, which are not consistent. But my video I talked about earlier tells you how this works. So the other thing is that during this month that's just passed, we have 9 in the east. And so we're looking, whenever a day has a 6, we'll have the 4. So that's another date that can be used in the east. So, but it's a different month. It doesn't happen on the same month. So this is how you get 3 possibilities of having these dates. Now, let's just refresh our memory a little bit. Star 9, two 9s, that's a fire element, or the combo of 2 and 7. This is for mitigating star 3. So we just looked at this. This past month, we can mitigate star 3 on any day when we also had a 2 in the center. And if you look back, if I haven't erased it yet, you look back, you will see that these dates do happen during this month for mitigating star 3. Now the other possibility is this 2 and the 7. So we only have 2 months here. So during October, the October-November month, this is of course the Chinese solar month, so this is why they have weird dates in the Western calendar. But we will have a 9 in the center, which gives us the 7 in the east. So we're looking for a day that has the 4 in the center to give us the 2. And so then we have this Her2 combo. Same kind of thing happens during the month where we have 4 in the center, we'll have 2 in the east. So we're looking for a day with 7 in the east, which comes with when it's 9 in the center. So now these are again different months, but you do have these days. The last thing is water. It's either going to be 2-star ones or it's going to be a 6 and a 9. I mean, a 6 and a 1. And so we could get it whenever we have the month of the 3, any day that also has the 3 in the center. We're going to have 1 in the east, so that works. These 2 months, well, let's see, we're starting out with this. Okay, let's start out here. So we know that this month, with 3 in the center, we have 1 in the east. We just looked at that. So we're looking for a day that has a 6. Now it's going to have, there'll be a day that has a 1, because we're looking at this particular month. There'll be a day that has a 1 and a day that has a 6. So this will have like a double strength. That month will have lots of dates because you'll have both the 1 and the 6 to combined with. So, but we have 2 other months where we have the month has the 6 in the east, and that's when we have 8 in the center, these 2 months. And we're just looking for one where the day number in the center is 3, so we have 1 in the east. And again, this is another date. Now this one won't be as frequent because this is the month, so you only have the day coming every 9 days. The other way around, you have it when a day is a 1 and a day is a 6, so it's like every 5 days. So although the month center star is very easy to determine, and this is the title of the video where I give you the charts, it's very easy to follow. The day star is harder to establish, but there are hard and fast rules that are described in this video. And if you can use, that is, you know how to use Excel, you can do this for yourself. You can also do this with other software too, but you know, Excel is a pretty common one. And that's kind of what you need. You need a spreadsheet. Now, when you're placing the mitigation element, you want to avoid personal clash days. Now, clash days are days where the animal sign of the day is opposite your animal sign, and we're talking about the 24 mountain ring. And most people know what their clash animals are. If you don't, just Google clash animal and it'll be explained. It's everywhere. Now, you want to avoid the year animal sign for all members of the household, if you can. If you have a large family, sometimes this is hard, but try to do that. And hopefully you can find one day out of that month that works. You also want to avoid the month animal sign for the working adults, because if you need to mitigate this Sha Chi, you don't want to miss it, because then this can have an effect on your career later on when that old mitigation has run out. Now, multiple dates can be used if no single date where there's a non-clash date. I mean, if you can't get a single date that's a non-clash date, you can do this double. You can place things twice. Now, if you place it on a clash day, let's say it's your clash day, you won't feel the mitigation, but everybody else in your household that doesn't share your animal sign will feel it. They will feel things will get better for them. That's why you can wait to another date later that month that you can actually place it, because you should have a date for everybody. And this doesn't make it worse if you actually place it on your clash day. You just don't have any effect. So there's no negative by placing the element, the appropriate element, on a clash day. It just doesn't affect you. So you just do it twice or 3 times, or however many you need for your household. Now, the water mitigation should have a maximum time of 2 weeks in a bedroom. And if you develop insomnia, you should remove the water sooner. The minimum is basically 24 hours. And if somehow your water should be quiet, it shouldn't make noise. So that shouldn't be the problem. But water is quite energizing, and some people are very sensitive to it. So if you have to, maybe you sleep in another room one night and you let that 24 hours go through. Now, metal mitigations can consist of any metal objects with at least something exposed metal, either inside or out. So a decorative vase that you can see the metal on the inside, but is maybe quite nicely enameled on the outside, that's fine. But you do have to have metal somewhere. It could be something as unattractive as a weight for weightlifting, as long as it has exposed metal. But hopefully you can find something nicer looking than that. Fire mitigation is a two-part action. You want to light a short, like 5 or 10-minute candle before turning on a salt lamp. And you do not want to leave the candle unattended while it's lit, but you can leave the lamp on basically forever. You can maybe weekly light another candle. You certainly don't need to do it more than daily. But weekly is fine, and that kind of re-energizes the salt lamp. Just leave it on through the whole thing because it was already activated, and and then just light a candle again. And if you do happen to have a power cut and the lamp goes out, then yes, your mitigation will stop, and you have to wait till the next mitigation dates to do it again. That has any really good effect. Water mitigation needs to consist of quiet, slowly moving water that's kept clean. Now, if you are using only water for 24 hours in a bedroom, you can have that water be still water. Now, the reason why you want it slowly moving is you don't want mosquitoes growing there. And a mosquito takes, like they say, 8 to 10 days to hatch. So if you're only going to leave it in there, 3 or 4 days, it can actually be still water. Now, if you need to change the water for mitigation, and that happens if it starts getting cloudy or gets algae in it, there's a method to do it properly, and this is true of either for a mitigation or a cure or an activation of like a special formation in your flying star chart. And that's usually in exterior water when you do that. You want to remove about 70 to 80% of the water in whatever container it is, but you don't want to empty it fully. And then you want to bring the water to the sector where the container is, or if it's outside, you bring like a hose to the pond, and you refill it with clean water while it's in the proper location, either in that sector or outside, that you're not going to be moving it around. And that keeps the energy from the water that you've used to activate the mitigation working, or to activate the activation of a special formation or the cure. So this is a safe way to clean your water. It usually means you have to clean a little more frequently because you don't take all the water out, and so sometimes it does make it get dirty faster, but you just keep an eye on it. Now, if this doesn't include exterior water, which can be kept cleaner if you use a filter that you regularly clean. There's a couple other things. It's best not to have a tree too close by that's going to drop a bunch of leaves in there, because that'll clog your filter and then your water will get dirty very, very quickly. If you want to shade your pond, the best way to shade it is with water lilies. And if you live in a place that freezes over and you're using it especially for activation, if you can put a little pond heater or a little bubbler in there to just keep it moving enough that it doesn't freeze. Now, there are places where it's going to be so cold, nothing will work. But it's a little more helpful, but it's not an absolute necessity. It's okay if it freezes. It's still water, it's just hard water, very hard water. So that's basically it. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please feel free to contact me here or leave a comment. And I do have some information here if you are interested in other things. And again, I'd like to thank you for watching.